What's up, WWE Champions? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and we're on a journey, the ninth-ish installment, give or take, of my roster through history. Because for some reason, I was disproportionately excited about taking screenshots of my roster at various milestones. And today, as you can see on screen, we hit the big 2 million. Oh my goodness, was I excited that day. That was a milestone. I blitzed my faction about it. I think the best players in the game maybe were 3-4 million at that point. So to be anywhere near that was, that was good, right? And look at what's going on in my roster here, right? 2.03 million shortly after. We got Montez Ford. I remember when Acro Montez came out. I missed him, didn't get him. I thought, I had this weird, I'm supposed to get this guy, right? I even had this super special strap because straps had come out, right? And now we're carrying those around. I had the blue one. Oh, that was when the blues had finally come out too, right? I had this this legendary strap sitting in my strap toolbox for Acro Montez Ford because he was the guy. He was the guy in the game. Never got him. Finally shredded it. But then they made Showboat, We Want the Smoke, Montez Ford, and you better believe I went all out that MLC and got him. And you can see 6-star doesn't exist yet. We're sitting there on 5-star gold. Here's one other cool shout out real quick. Look right on down there and you see at the bottom, you've got Hall of Fame Steve Austin, right? He is 6-star silver on my roster now. In fact, that was my first 6-star silver because I keep getting shards of him, right? And he was resource free. But that's back before tier lists. That's back before, tier lists exist. Bats, Twilight Bats was a great one. Havens existed, all that good stuff. But that was back before the in-game tier lists. That was before we were on Discord for the most part. This was before we were really chatting with each other about who to use, who not to use, other than just in your own little tiny faction. And yeah, so I was shooting him up to the moon. He was on a mission to be my best Hall of Fame character. And then sitting next to him, my first 6-star female, Becky Lynch, IOW. And yeah, she's distinctly okay. Yeah, that's about it, right? But back in that day, she was pretty good. You can notice that Zombie Rock hasn't moved much in these last few videos. The shine had kind of come off, right? And here's the story, the quick story. He wasn't Zombie Austin. I wanted Zombie Austin, and every zombie year, I could not get Zombie Austin, not even a shard of Zombie Austin. And so I stopped pushing Zombie Rock out of spite because he wasn't Zombie Austin. And while one of the tier lists listed him as better than Zombie Austin, we all knew better, right? Yeah, nobody was building a Zombie Rock killer, but everybody had to have 6, which I obviously don't have on my roster yet here. Everybody had to have 6 as a Zombie Austin killer, because otherwise you're going to get shut down in Showdown. Nobody's doing that for Zombie Rock, so I stopped building him. Yeah, that is, 'tis what it is. And then on the next page here, 2.3 million roster. Here's why this one's important. Here's why this one's fun. Do you see those 2 girls that have rocketed up to the top of my roster right there? Alundra Blaze and Hall of Fame China. Everybody say it with me. This was when the web coin market went kaplooey, right? This was when we all figured out trivia. You were there, you remember, maybe, right? Hopefully. Yeah, this was when someone figured out, wasn't me, that if you spammed trivia, it was unlimited, right? This is you can't do this now. This got abused. That specific month got abused to no end. And yeah, we got some good characters out of it. A lot of us, a lot of us abused this really bad. What were we going to do? They built a system that somebody figured out how to exploit. And for about 3 weeks during that MLC, when Alundra Blaze was the chase character, you could spam it so much that you could get Alundra, you could get Boogeyman, you could get Hall of Fame China, and you can see on my roster, she got a rocket ship on her. because she was incredible, right? She's still pretty relevant. In fact, Alundra is pretty well too, actually. Not great, not bad for sure. But yeah, this one right here represents Trivia-geddon. And our buddy Rusty, now part of the Champions Chat podcast, who co-founded it with me right here, right? He was in a different faction. We were in separate factions. The first YouTube video he made was showing people how to have one browser window here and one browser window here and tab between them so that you could get the answers to trivia, post the trivia. I'm not kidding. One weekend, this is a little embarrassing. One weekend, I told my family, I was like, I just need this entire weekend away. And I borrowed a computer because I found out later I could do it on my iPad Pro, like actually better than I could have on the computer. But I've been working in an iPad Pro environment where this is my only device, what I'm recording on right now, the only device that I use for all of my work, all of my workflow. So I borrowed a computer from somebody. I spammed trivia for hours. Hours and hours and hours and hours. And the very last thing I got from it, you don't see it on here, was Hall of Fame Yokozuna. That was the one that I was like, I've got, because Bobby, like Zombie Bobby, needed that Hall of Fame Yokozuna. So I got China. I got the Chase character. I think the very first time, as you can see all those full stars, the very first time I got the Chase character shard recruited. And again, it was because I literally just spammed that portal like all the stinking time. Last one, and then I'll end this video. John Morrison, Johnny Drip Drip, right? Join the roster. First time in my Champions history, I YOLO'd someone. I got him at 3 stars, as you can see on the picture there. And in one night, took him to 5-star gold. That was the biggest move I had ever made in this game. And why? Why did I do that? How was I able to afford those resources? Trivia, baby. Oh, that portal. Oh, let me just tell you. You'll hear me say on the Champs Chat podcast, on the MLC, how do you max at MLC type videos, one of the biggest ways is trivia, which now it's nerfed. It sucks. They took it away, and maybe rightly so, right? We all abused it. But back then, you could get all sorts of resources. And I took John Morrison to the moon. This has been Old Guy Talk with Lee. Thanks for sticking around for the roster video. And like, share, subscribe, send this to someone. Your faction doesn't need to see this, but they might. Maybe this is such riveting content. Maybe you remember Trivia-geddon. Share in the comments section below all your Trivia-geddon stories. Oh, baby, that was such a good month. I'll talk to you next time.